Hello, good evening, and a very warm welcome to Rangers Radio.
Well, hello, good evening, welcome to Rangers Radio. John myself, Foxchair, on the show this evening. It's my big mucker Southside and the legend that is the Old Bear. How we doing, boys?
I'm fantastic, mate. How's yourselves?
I'm tip-top, mate. Tip-top. Champion, mate, wide awake. Yourself?
Aye, exactly, mate. Good. Ready to go?
Always, mate, always. How are you, Southside?
Tired and crabbit, so don't start me tonight, right? Good to be on with your two good selves. And good evening to everyone listening in this evening.
All right. Listen, look, we'll go with the football first, if that's all right with you two gentlemen, yeah? I'll rephrase that. We'll go with the game on Saturday, Old Bear.
Aye, go with that. I'm happy to talk about that, mate.
And we'll get your thoughts on it. I've obviously said my piece on Saturday, you know. After, as you know, Albert, you know yourself, Southside, after a game, your initial thoughts sometimes always on your permanent thoughts. You've got to dissect it quickly, but a lot of minds haven't changed. But obviously, it'll be interesting. I'll start with Albert, get his take on it. Albert.
Well, the draw is not acceptable. We know that. We're not what I'm about to say is not trying to justify any of that. It's not acceptable. We know it's not acceptable, especially at Ibrox, but anywhere it's not acceptable. But just, I heard you on Saturday, just to go over it slightly, mate. The first half was just too slow. That's all it was, mate. It was just too slow.
Centre-halves and the two midfield gets too much of the ball, too deep.
But that, if you got to remember, by the way, I mean, nobody's taking into account who you're playing, by the way, and how they're set up. They're set up. What they're doing is watching you, and he's had nearly 2 weeks to drill that team to say, look, all you do is man mark the ball when it comes into your half. That's all they're doing. So the Rangers players are taking a pass, but they're always facing and running towards the aim goal. And he's saying, right, the centre-halves, we want the centre-halves on the ball. So they're forcing us to have the centre-halves on that ball. And then Proper, for example, ran forward. He looked up. He's nobody, absolutely nobody to give the ball. We're all slaughtering Proper. And you're going, what's the guy going to do? If he holds the ball in the halfway line and gets caught on possession and they're through, he's going to get slaughtered for that. So he turns around and he passes it back away, and he's going to get slaughtered for that. He's absolutely nowhere to go with the ball, mate. Nowhere. So you're saying, right, hold on, why are we not moving? That's the problem. We've got forwards. If you're two skillful forwards playing wide in each wing, they're practically playing. You're actually taking them right out of the game, playing them that wide. And then you've got Dessers no moving and Diamondi. It was a toss-up to see who was the worst of the two of them. The two of them were just no involved. The two of them were just no involved in the game. You know what I mean? I'm not making any runs. And Dessers done this before. We know he's just a bad player to me, mate. That's the end tape for me. There's no more to say about the boy. He's just a bad player. But Diamondi, I mean, I don't know what that boy's thinking about. He's like a wee schoolboy, like one of the wee guys.
He couldn't pass the ball 5 yards on Saturday, could he?
But he's always wanting the ball, mate. He's just shouting for the ball, constantly shouting for the ball. He's like one of the wee guys you play their school team. And no matter where he is or what whoever's got the ball, he's wanting, give me the ball. They don't know what to do when they get it, but he wants the ball, and that's what he's doing. He's running about, no running into space. He's running and just putting his hand up for the ball, and you're going, if there's two guys running about you, how are you not moving into space? So that's him. But that was the first half. Just too slow, mate. It's a bit. You've got to have people who's moving into space to take passes, mate. It's just pointless if nobody's going to move into space. Second half, couple of changes at half time, and it all changed. They looked a bit better. Boys getting whipped about a bit better. But it shows the weakness in Barn and Raskin, the forward passing. They're not very good, mate, at the forward passing. They're great workers, but absolutely fantastic workers, no doubt about that. But the forward pass is nothing. And that's your creativity, mate. They're supposed to be part of the creativity of the team. And they're creating nothing, mate, absolutely nothing.
They're not going to influence the game that deep, are they?
No, they're not. Then you've got your Hadji. Hadji, I mean, I've told you Hadji's done. He's decent legs, but he's got a brain, and you can see his brain working on the park. You can see he knows how to play midfield. He's just not got the legs to play midfield. But you do see the brains of the boy. The boy has got brains, and you're saying, look, football brain. Right away, it changes. You've got Cherny, who started really picking up his pace and picking up the game. And you've got to give him credit.
Was he your best player?
Oh, aye, by a distance, mate, by a distance. He's got the skill, he's got the know-how, and he's got football brain as well. So, aye, Danilo, he set up the goal for Cherny, but he should have scored maybe one, probably two himself. He did. He missed one set at least. He should be putting that away.
By the way, ultimately, he never hit the target, mate.
Aye, it's criminal, mate, but talking about no hitting the target, I mean, you go through the whole team. I mean, there isn't goals in the team. That's just it. There isn't any goals. And you can say setups, you can say what you want, mate, but there isn't any goals. Tavernier stopped scoring. Stirling doesn't score. The Sutter doesn't score. Proper doesn't score. Jeffrey doesn't score. Diamondi doesn't score. Barn doesn't score. Raskin doesn't score. And then you're looking at Dessers. Dessers might score now and again. Cherny chips in with a few goals, but then you've got Barjami scores maybe one or two. Subs come on, Danilo doesn't score, and Igmani doesn't score. So you're looking at it and going, well, where's the goals coming from? But if you look at I said to Southside earlier today, if you look at the warm-up when we're starting the games, they do this shooting exercise. It's just amateur. It looks completely amateur to me. But the shoot, I looked at the one against, I think it was Hearts. They must have took a combination of 30 shots between all the players. They scored 2 out of 30 shots. And I'm saying, that's pathetic. Some of the ones, most of them hitting the ball. They don't even hit the ball right. It's scuff shots. It's that. If we're going to coach and going to work on anything, they should be working on their finishing and their striking their ball. It's dreadful, mate. It's absolutely dreadful. And you're saying you can improve on that. Well, that's just what me. It's the usual. We don't score enough goals again. And we'll be saying it time and time and time again. Now, I'm just going to make a comparison with the Manchester City and Tottenham game. Manchester City, in my opinion, should have won that game. The sitters, they absolutely missed. And it's the fact was his tactic. He does this. We've done it playing him as well. You battle him and you miss chances, bang, they run up park, score 2 3 rapid. That's you. Game's done. They've done it with us 10 times when he was in charge of them. And now he's doing it with Tottenham. But if you look at Manchester City and the money they've spent in their team and they miss the chances, you don't score the chances, mate. And this is what we do.
Goals change games, mate.
Of course they do, mate. But that's what we should be working on. That's what we should be concentrating on. We're blaming defenders. We're blaming this and we're blaming that. We're blaming midfield. We're blaming everything. It's just bad finishing by everybody. Not just one player, by everybody. But that's just my take on it, mate.
All right. Southside, give your thoughts on the match, yeah?
I think first half we played with 9 men. That was the first thing.
Can you answer me this? Can you answer me this? Because, and listen, I'm not putting you in the spot. No trick, no nothing. We've talked about Dessers on half. Always, we've talked about on air, off air, right? And we know that he's not the finish, but his effort, I've never seen. I thought it was total lack of effort at the weekend, not just poor play.
Aye, listen, we never even put a chance in front of him in the whole game. He'd turn around and say, "Oh, there's Dessers missed one again," right? So he never got one chance supplied to him at all in the game. He was honking, right? Let's not be kidded. He was honking on Saturday between his effort and not getting himself into position for us to put a ball into him. It was a good wee bit of play, I thought, the way we done it when Bezrami was unlucky with the shot. The goalie made a decent save in the first half. But that's about the highlight I can think back to on Saturday in the first half.
The best player in the first half, offensively, and maybe no defensively, but offensively, Jeffy.
Jeffy done well. He was getting up the park. At one point, I looked at it in the first half, and there was only 2 players in our own half, and it was the 2 centre-backs. Every single Rangers player was in the Dundee United half on Saturday in the first half. Sterling was right up the park. There was Cherny was there. Sterling was there. We had Jeffy up the park. We had stadium. I mean, they were all over the halfway line, and by a good bit, wasn't somebody just stoning over the halfway line? Our full, more or less, team apart for they two were in the Dundee United half in the first half, but nothing really came at any time. Barron hadn't handled the ball. I mean, obviously, I heard the roar get up for their section, so at the time I didn't really notice it, but you heard the roar. Aye, he put a good cross in for the first time proper, got up, and when he was up there and got up and headed the ball in the net, which I didn't expect. But second half, it was totally different. I think Hadji, Danilo, obviously, they had a rocket up their backside at half time, and that's the thing about it, is we don't start. There's games when we just don't come out and start. Now, I heard Buckland's interview, right? He looked a bit peed off, which along with the rest is, but he's saying, but we're all saying, and yet he's saying they've had meetings and it's down to the players. It's down to the players. The players didn't put the effort in. The players didn't make the extra runs. The players weren't running off the ball enough. It's obviously they weren't hard enough. We can sit here and say this, that, and that. At the end of the day, it comes down to the attitude of players, you know. And he's saying that some players should need to do this and need to do that. So if that's coming from a player, our captain on the day, then there's obviously an issue with some of the players, unless some of them were.
If you've got a question to Albert, who's managed at all levels for Fort Knox in Kentucky to locally, you've got a group of painter and decorators and they don't put the paper up right, mate. What happens?
Sacked.
There you go. He's just gave you the answer.
Aye. In football, what happens?
No, you come off the park.
What happens?
Sorry, I've missed.
No, your name's no Albert. Albert.
What happens if the papers?
Aye.
What do you mean? I don't understand what you're talking about.
Right. In football, it's the manager that carries the can. Right or wrong?
Oh, right. Oh, aye. Well, it's wrong. In certain circumstances, it's wrong. In other circumstances, it's right. You know what I mean? But it's a fact. That is what happens. No matter whether it's right or wrong, that's what will happen.
Aye. So, say then you come, mate.
Right, so 12 painters and decorators are the best 12 that you've actually got.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and 2 of them only turning up for their work.
Mm-hmm.
Then you've got to make a change at half time if you've got another 2 that you can change them with. They're maybe very good in your eyes or is, but they've just been away for a wee while. They need to get back to experience and how to paint. They'd be better. Some of them be better painting and decorating. But right, had you come on, I think he done some nice things. I think he did a nice wee.
Your club line, sorry.
No, well, I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't. I didn't have anything. I wouldn't trust him to park my motor. But at the end of the day, Hadji does a wee nice back heel in the area, which led to a nice pass for Czerny. And I'm telling you, man, what an absolute sitter that boy misses. I don't care, he's just back. I turned around and said a few weeks ago, he needs to come in and start scoring goals and let's see, are you the guy that's going to come in? See, if it had been Dessers on Saturday, that whole stadium would have booed him at the next touch of the ball. I guarantee you, the way it is now, Dessers would have got absolutely pelters for that.
I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll get the phone lines up and we'll open this debate to people, yeah? Because I think it's a big subject and people have got opinions on it. Different opinions, because we might have different opinions on here tonight, eh?
Yep.
You can, for some things, aye.
Aye. And they go and find these 12 painter decorators. Right.
They'll be the ones that's not got the Ibrox probably in the next couple of weeks because we're not playing very well. They'll be easily fun.
We're not so good at the ceilings. Right, let's hear from you.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972? It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
What's the collective noun for a group of painter and decorators, Albert?
I don't know. Rangers. I'll tell you, some of them should be painter and decorators, I'll tell you, because some of them are no football players.
Anyway, we've been joined by a good friend of the show, George Logan. Evening, George.
How you doing, boys? You all right?
How good to hear you, George.
George, how you doing, brah?
Oh, in life, all right. Rangers not so good, Ox. I mean, I think I'm one of the last to throw in the white flag when it comes to managers and things like that. Ox, we can't.
You're a loyal guy.
Nah, we can't. I mean, Cassino and things like that. And I says, I couldn't say his name. I couldn't spell his name, Ox. So I said, let's get rid of him because I couldn't spell his name. So it was no good to me. But this guy here, I had all the faith in the world in him.
We'll get George back. He's trapped to it. Excuse my language, everybody. It's been called the piss head of painters. Right, okay, that was a good one. Hopefully George will be right back with us. Listen, I remember being on the show with George 2017, it would have been, when Kachina had the job, and it was, I think it was after the Niederkorn game, and we both gave our thoughts on the manager that should have never got the job. George, you back with us, mate?
I am back. It's going to happen there.
Oh, it happens, mate. It's live, as you know. Right, carry on, mate. Floor's yours.
Aye, but Ox, I think it's I heard Southside saying there, we were down to 9 men in the first half. It's a hard watch. It's people aren't even booing; they're just walking out and things like that, Ox. And I think it's time we need to get we need to pull the plug. And there's managers out there. I'm not going to start naming managers, but the thing is, there's managers out there who we could be going and getting the new and steadying the ship. And I keep on saying, every time I seem to come on this show, if it's a year or a couple of weeks later, folks always say the same thing. We need to start winning at home first before we think about anything else, and we need to get this league back and things like that. And I think, and I keep on saying this as well, I think we need a Rangers man in that dugout. And it's all right saying, oh, Alex Fraser in the dugout. No, I think we need a Barry Ferguson or somebody like that in that dugout who's not going to accept that kind of mediocre, because that's what that was on Saturday. It's mediocre. I mean, teams like Dundee have scored 10 more goals than us and things like that. Absolutely dreadful. It's no looking good for it. It's really, really not looking good for us, Ox. And if we go another 4 or 5 games, even 3 or 4 games, and get us into December, that's us into transfer window coming up as well. We can't keep going like this. And I'm no one for pulling the plug on managers, but it's just no worked out. You shake hands and you move on. And I like to think that the new CEO and that's coming in, they'll have a bit of an idea. And again, people are saying Van Nistelrooy and Solskjaer and things like that. No, for me, I think we need to get somebody that knows the club. And I would say Derek McInnes. I think we need to get Derek McInnes, get Rangers men, and a bit like when we bring Walter Smith back, Walter Smith, Alan McCoist, and things like that. We really need to get Rangers guys in that know what it means to win and what it means to lose. And you're not just going home there at night and walking out in a wee bad mood and that. You're absolutely raging because you've been beat. Because that's how I feel. You go home for the games, you watch the games, and you think to yourself, I can't beat the day this anymore. And I'd like to think that players playing for Rangers didn't want to be doing this anymore.
Listen, I would like to answer the question, and so would Albert, but I don't think that would be fair. Southside.
I knew you were going to do that, George. I knew he was doing that. I'm telling you, George, I agree with you at a point, right? It's not a good watch. Listen, we've got a squad of players, mate, that struggle to score goals. We don't have a striker. We have a guy up front who has moments. That's what Clement's inherited through Michael Beale picking him and letting Kolak go for a start, right? He's inherited Dessers. We've got Danilo, who... Listen, Danilo wasn't hitting the back of the net on a regular basis when he was fit, never mind coming back for injury. So he's struggling in that department. When you struggle in that department, you're going to struggle throughout your team. We've got Tierney, who's been a wee bit of a light for us. Danu and Bezrami, I think, over time will be a good player. I think he will be. That's all we've got, really, George, up front, because we've got nothing else to add to it. And we don't score for set pieces. We don't look like scoring for set pieces that can help you out. I think Suter and Proper's probably the two that we've only got at the back that will play most of the games at the moment. Proper's only had about 15 games. I think if we'd more first team players, George, I think if things hadn't held on to the end of the transfer window there and Cantwell arsing about and all that and getting him out the door at the last minute and one or two others get out and loan, I think if we'd managed to help the manager with some extra money, I think it might have helped him. Can't tell me Czerny's not a decent player. Bezrami's not been a decent player. Jeffrey's looks all right. Connor Barron's looked all right. Diamandi's the one that's annoying me now because I've seen wee glimpses of him and we put a lot of faith into him and I'd like to think he will come good. I think some of the signings have been all right for the manager. But I think we needed more, George. That squad needs help. It's really struggling, and that's how we're getting the inconsistencies and the up and downs for the results. Because we've no got our strongest 11's roughly what started. Give or take a player or two, but in behind that, George, we've got nothing.
The thing is, Southside. I mean, we must have been paying the last day the transfer window for the boy Benrami. How much did we pay for him?
Over £4
or something, was it?
No, I think he's close to 3 or 4. Is he no?
I thought it was that. I wouldn't want to say that out loud. We paid that for him when realistically everybody could see we needed a striker. So people are saying that he's inherited this squad. He's inherited the squad, but there was also the possibility of us putting £3 million in for Shankland, and we're banged in goals for us. I don't understand how we couldn't have just. I'm not just saying Shankland. I'm just picking his name out the hat, like, hey, or paying £2 or £3 million for a lone striker because that's what we needed. And that manager seen what we needed, but he seemed to think that he was going to go with Dessers and wait. And he actually named it. He said, "We'll wait until October, November until Danilo's fit." I mean, that's criminal as far as I'm concerned. I can't believe it. We've done that. Like, we put ourselves in this position.
We have, but you had to prioritise. You could have a great striker up front, but if you can't get the ball up to him or put crosses in or get somebody that can build the play for the middle of the park or the wing to get it into the striker, it's not going to matter, is it, George? Really?
No.
I'm agreeing. I mean, it's frustration, George, because we can see we needed actually 16 players to come right in fresh at the start of the season. That's what we needed, but it was never going to happen. So he went with what he could get in certain positions, and we went for Yefty at left back because we all said need to get rid of Barisic. We all said we needed rid of Tav, so he's got Sterling and Casemiro. Now he's out injured. We all said we needed a centre back. We tried to get our first centre back, maybe 2, and they knocked us back. So then we went proper at the end of the window because players sat and we couldn't get them out the door. We've still got 5-6 players in that squad that you could get rid of the more if you could, and you could bring in 5 players. 5 players that the manager or the backrooms team and all that want. It would maybe make a difference. But right now we are where we are, and that's where the frustration comes to, because we're dropping points on Saturday there at Dundee United, who realistically come up the park once in the first half, maybe twice, and nicked a goal off us. And look at the state of our goalkeeper, George. Look at the state of Buckland as that ball came in and the boy just put his head on it. He fell on his backside and sat on the goal line. Embarrassing, George. Embarrassing, man. That was how captain for the day.
I don't understand what's wrong with our scouting network as well, Southside. We've got, I mean, it always seems to be, Motherwell last season found the boy Bear striker for absolute neighbour, was banging in goals in our league. I think Ross County's found a striker this year. There's teams find strikers all the time, and we always have to either pay over the odds for somebody or they get somebody that's just not good enough. I don't understand, but I think there's major problems. But honestly, I think, for me, and I'm no one for saying it, I think we need to start the game with another manager. And I hate saying that every November and October. I just think we need to go, and I think we need to go back to basics and go for Derek McInnes or somebody along the lines. I mean, I hate to say it loud, but Alex get Big Eight McLeish in to say the ship or something like that, because I think we're in an office.
Don't know if he's fit enough, mate. Don't know if he's fit enough. Albert.
But something along the lines, Ox, eh?
I get what you're saying. I get your point, mate. Albert.
Oh, I'm no for sacking the manager. I'm just no. I don't think there's any point to it. He's there to do a particular job, and his job is to try and bring players in and put value into the squad. You can through a bad season. Nobody knew that this was a building season. We all knew it. It doesn't mean you want to lose games or anything like that, or play the way we're playing. But at the end of the day, you've got to cut them some slack. But nobody seems to want to do that. All we do is looking at this. We see the problems on the park ourselves. Simple, mate. Some of the players are not good enough. You've not got enough good players. It's as simple as that. And you can't put that down to the manager. He's been asked to cut a squad. He's been asked to cut the average age. He's been asked to do all these things, and he's done it. And now he's carrying the can for it. It's stuff that should have been done years ago. Players that should have moved on years ago. He's had to move on one big goal, one big block, right, this year. And it's pretty unfair for the guy. But again, I know he's stubborn. I know he's set in his ways. Put it this way, we're all giving advice out. Everybody's giving him advice out. I bet you some of his coaches are all giving him advice out. But the bottom line is, he'll live or die with his own decisions. And if he does get the sack, at least he can walk away and say, well, I tried it my way. I wasn't listening to anybody else. I'd done it my way. And it wasn't the right way. Well, you'll get the sack. Maybe he'll turn it round. And he could put two fingers up to everybody and say, well, I got it right at the end of the day.
What you saying, Albert? Regrets? I've had a few.
Aye, exactly. Little Frankie boy. But you know what I'm saying? He's got to date his own way, mate. He's got to be allowed to date his own way. But you've got to see some of the problems the guy's faced. I mean, he never even the home park. Come on, at the beginning of the season, did they face all this nonsense? He's doing things that he didn't think he was going to have today regarding his job and day-to-day stuff. You don't know what's happening behind the scenes. The people that are letting him doing is it's not the supporters, and it's not the board to a certain degree. They've got responsibilities to the club as well with this FFP carry on. But it's his coaches and his players. That's what's letting them down, mate. Some of the players need to have a hard look at themselves. Some of the players are just, as I said before, simply not good enough. Doesn't matter how much you want them to be better, they're just not going to get better because they're not good players. Desser's been one. He's not the only one, but there's a few in there that you'd say, no, they shouldn't be here. Lawrence shouldn't be here. Dow shouldn't be here. Matondo shouldn't be here. I mean, there's about 6, 7, maybe even 8 players that you'd go, they should never be anywhere near Ibrox now. But they are here.
And any of them going to move?
It doesn't matter whether they're going to move or not. It's not the argument now. The argument is that's what he's got to deal with. And I'm just saying, I know people are saying they should sack the manager. Most people are saying I don't think he should sack the manager at all. I really don't. I've got empathy with the guy with what he's had to put up with. If you give him a clear playing field, back him properly, enough money, get rid of the dead wood, and let's see what he does. If he does the same things and it's same boring football, then he's got every right to go. Oh, you need to go. You definitely need to go. But at the moment, he's got that many problems in front of him out with the football. You've got to cut him some slack. Bringing a new manager in wouldn't make any difference because he's going to have the same problems.
Sorry, this person can't answer at the moment, so please leave a message.
So you've got to remember the budget we've got is tight. With the restrictions with FFP's tight. Where is all this money going to come for to get these new players? Sorry, bringing Derek McInnes in. That's just a suggestion. I know George is putting a suggestion out there. But at the end of the day, is that really what Rangers want? Supposed to knock the job back once, but now we want them. No, you don't get second chances with the Rangers job. I don't actually think you offer the job personally, but you definitely don't get a second chance, mate. You've had your opportunity to be the Rangers manager. You didn't want to do it. You want to.
George's back ways. I think the point George is making is he didn't say Derek McInnes. He said Derek McInnes.
I know it's just a suggestion. It's just a suggestion, mate.
Aye, because you would like somebody with a Rangers connection.
I understand.
George.
Just to take us back to basics, Ox. That's how far away we are. And what Ox Albert saying there, I totally disagree with everything he's saying because the fans are not going to be there, Ox. How many fans were there on Saturday, Ox, do you reckon? I ken it was announced at 47,000.
I'm guessing.
How many fans do you think?
35,000 was in the stadium. That's my guess.
Absolutely ridiculous, Ox, isn't it? Absolutely ridiculous for a team that was in the European final 2 years ago. I mean, it's and I can Southside the same as me, goes to games and things like that. But I can't keep watching this all the time, Ox, and standing back and saying nothing. And I'm normally the one that's only arguing with folk. No, we need to save the manager, keep the manager, stay loyal, didn't do it. Ox, he's no the man for the job. He's just no the man for Rangers. He spent a bit of money as well, Ox, focusing about the board. There's been problems at the board. We never had our own park to play on and things like that, Ox, but we still had a park to play on. He spent a bit of money. I think it was about 15 or 16 million he spent, Ox. And a few of these players, like Southside there, a few of these players have actually turned out all right. Wee Barn, the wee left back, I like Sestia, I think he's a decent player. Big Proper, he's never going to make it as a centre half in Scotland. Ox. See, if I was playing against him, the first 5 minutes, I'd be doing his ribs and that. He would go nowhere near me again. It's as simple as that, and that's what the guys are doing. He's just a big ball merchant, Ox. We can't hear that. And I don't think the big boy Shooter's the greatest player in the world, but he's a trier. He'll give you everything he's got. So I just think that Ken, you're hanging about Derek McInnes. I'm not saying Derek McInnes in particular, but I'm just saying there's got to be a Rangers-minded guy out there who knows what the club's all about.
I'm
Barry
scratching
Ferguson,
my head.
Kevin Thompson, people that know what our club's about,
But
people that knows what the fans are
they've
about.
no experience. The two of them have no real experience in management.
Just with a manager alongside him, I'm saying, Oxley, we need to get, and again, folk are saying, but I've got Alec Gray. Alec Gray, and Kem is my big, and Ox, I'm on a bit of rant here. Kem is my biggest pet hate. You've got a goalkeeping coach standing there giving instructions to folk when they're getting a drink of water. No, you sit down, you use your hands with the ball. You sit down like Alec Gray, who could play the game, stand up, he's sitting there biting his nails. Ox, we need that full...
all that who gives you the instruction, all that who comes to the park is all dictated for the manager. Some managers will want people constantly coming at them so that they get bits in their ear. The thing other managers are saying, need to talk to me to half time. It's all dictated by the manager. Yeah, that's how you do it. It's your style. You're in charge. Albert.
I might very well be, mate. You might be saying that, but I'll agree. The one bit I'll agree with George is the goalkeeping coach. I've been going on about this for long enough. I mean, many managers here, that clown's seen that. He's seen more managers off and Tav. By the way, that clown. So I don't understand why he's on the bench. I don't understand why he's giving instructions either. I mean, he's a goalkeeping coach. I don't get it. I just don't get it at all. If he wants to do his job, start with Butland and look at all the goals that Butland's lost down at his bottom right-hand corner. He should be coaching that and saying, right, find out the problem that he's got and start coaching that out of his game. But instead of that, he's got a board, a clipboard, or whatever he's got, and he's giving players instructions. And you've also seen him talking to players when Clement's talking to other players at the same time. You're going, what's happening here? Who's? I mean, they might be giving different messages to players. It just looks confusing at times. I don't know what's happening, mate, to be honest with you. But I still don't think we should sack a manager. I don't think there's any point to it. I don't think it's going to move us one step forward.
Oh, big question. Look, when I wait for the game quite quickly, I thought this might happen tonight, if I'm honest, George, because it's a big talking point. I'll give you my take on it. I don't dislike Philip Clement, and I do accept he's had a difficult period. But I also take your point on board, George. He has been backed. A lot of the players have been out the door at the back end, weren't they involved in the squad, if we're honest. Ruth, Jack, etc. Robbie McCrory, they were never on the pitch. You couldn't really call them finishing first team players when they left the club. Yeah, so we had to. They went and we replaced them. We brought in players who have done okay in spells. Barron, Jeffy, Berjami showed you can play the game, being not consistent at the moment. Cherny started okay, got in a rut, and then since the Leon game, he's arguably been my best player. You know, Barron's come in and he gives you everything he's got. Is he a class act? No, he's not. Is he a trier? Can he get better? Yeah, he can. He's young. Raskin's come in, back for injury, and done okay. The boy Diamande, all that proved to be a mistake. And then you've got three centre forwards who are all different. One's young, we brought in as a project to see where it goes. The manager made a statement that in a year's time we wouldn't be able to afford to buy him. I liked him, my initial look at him when I saw Ingerman up at Tannadice, George. And since then, I've not been particularly impressed. Dessers, well, Albert says he's a bad player, and who am I to argue with Albert? And Danilo, we've not seen enough of him. He's been unlucky with injury, and that's me giving him the benefit of the doubt. He should have scored a goal on Saturday. The problem I've got is I accept all players' rationale about the manager, but the way it's gone just now, I don't know if the board of directors will be able to afford to keep the manager because the disconnect is only get wider. No, I accept the crowd was low for a lot of reasons at the weekend. Ferries cancelled, the weather, people deciding to stay in the pub because it got to 3 o'clock. They had an extra 4 pints and went, I'm not going to there. We live in the real world, George, right or wrongly. There's been thousands of people done things like that and no made it for that. But there is a disconnect to the moment, Georgia.
100%. That's the worrying part. I mean, all the way through all the troubles we had, and that the fans were the biggest thing. The fans were always there, but they're just. I mean, there wasn't a lot of booing on Saturday. It was people were just walking out early and going, and I can't say, oh, they go early to get the subway and things like that. But I think you're bang on, you've hit it in the head. I think there's a massive disconnect, and before it actually sets in far too far, and it's a disconnect with the manager and the players, and that have got it as well. I think that's why we need to make a change. I mean, even I'm not a football manager, so I go and I pay my money, I sit in my seat and then I go home, and I think I'm a football manager. But taking your left winger off, or you take in Benjamin off, they took him off and they put the wee striker out left wing. Surely we should have been putting two strikers up front at that point, Ox. That's just me just going for it. Like, I mean, we've got nothing to lose. We're 1 point, and by the way, 1 point means nothing really against Dundee United. We should be hammering them. But the team has just been promoted. For me, I would have been putting another winger on there if you've got to do anything at all, and putting another striker on, take the wing, do something like that, Ox. Take a centre half off or take something like that. I just didn't get why he done that on Saturday. Everything, and that's me. I'm maybe at the point in the Ox where I've just had enough. I'm maybe just fed up, and I'm just picking up on every wee mistake he's making.
To do that, you need to change your system, and he doesn't do that a lot. I've seen him do a couple of tactical changes, and one of the biggest ones was when we played Benfica, and that night we decided to mark them at the edge of their own box. And when we were taking corners, they looked more like he scored the beat at Albert. Remember it?
Aye, definitely, mate. He's one of the guys that's not going to change his mind with his system. No? I mean, and I think that's a big flaw myself. I don't agree with. I don't like the system myself. A lot of teams play it now. I mean, I think the majority of teams now play that system, and you've got to have the players to play it. To be honest with you, and we haven't got the players to play it. So that said, we should be changing the system to suit the players that we have got. That is a big concern. But as I say, you get rid of him, bring another manager in. He knew wakens up on the first day he's at Ibrox and says to himself, "Oh, we've got injuries, we've got players that are not good enough to play in the positions I want to play." He's got the same problems, mate.
The problem.
They don't go away because Clement's away. They don't go away, they stay. So.
I mean, look what the new manager done for Man United, 87 seconds yesterday. After that, it wasn't great. You know?
That was a wee guy we had. I hear a wee guy flew down that wing, didn't he? What do you call him? That's a wee boy we had, wasn't it?
Ahmed, aye.
Aye.
Listen, and your point's valid, and I'll come back to George after Southside comes in. There's no guarantee you get the bounce or somebody does a better job. You'll never be able to answer that. Southside, in you come, brah.
You've just said that, knocked it on the head. You'll get a bounce. Listen, come on, took our last season, and what did we all say? Get us back to up the league and get us as close to them as we can. Didn't anybody say that? Now steady the ship, look at the state he's under Bill. And then, because we had experienced players, we had players with experience, and then you've had to take all that out of the team because everybody agreed they all have to go. So they all have to go. But you can only bring in so many players, and some in the last minute of the transfer window, and some of your number one players that we tried to sign. But we'd been knocked back with about 3 or 4 players. They did say they didn't want to come. 1 or 2 when we didn't get in the Champions League. Bolty, that striker, went to Sparta Prague. Sima didn't want to come. He wanted to go and play Champions League football, went to Brest. So it is what it is. We're down to having to bring players in. What's Jeffrey's experience in football? Playing in Cyprus for 6 months and being in. I mean, he's never came to a club this size in his life, played the amount of games he's having to play as quickly in succession. The abuse that he's took while he's been on the park after games when the results haven't went right. All experience to him that he'd probably never had. Barron's the same. No got the experience to be playing 3 games a week for Glasgow Rangers. If we'd had a decent other centre midfielder in there that we try to buy Claassen, try to buy Jordan. If he'd got him, Barron wouldn't be playing every week in that team. He'd have been spelled out. Or Raskins just back for injury. And we're expecting to have a team that's going to compete in 4 fronts for 3 cups and in Europe this season. With that squad, really? Is that what people out there really believe? No, we know the squad isn't good enough. He needs reinforcements. So you can put a manager in there. Danilo goes out injured next week, we sack Clement. What happens then? We're back to playing Dessers again, because that's all we've got. So he doesn't score. So how's the new manager going to get the team to score goals? No, you can dress it up any way you want. You know what it is? The knee-jerk reaction is when we don't get a result we expect to get, it's a clamour for this and that. And that's what it is at the moment. You know, we'll probably get it Thursday and we could get a result on Thursday. Because anybody says it's no important, it is. Because we need to get money in for Europe, because we need to get money into the club.
Listen, but I think that's where some of the frustrations come from. In a golden game of football in Malmo and Athens, we've seen that there's ability in the side against arguably better players than they played at the Saturday. But we've huffed and puffed at home against everybody, George, haven't we? Apart from Ross County, we've huffed and puffed at home, Hampden and Ibrox.
Aye, we haven't. And by the way, it's not Southside saying a knee-jerk reaction. I'm no one for doing that. I really am. Then I try and back. In fact, I probably remember one of the last times I was on the show, I was shouting that we should never, ever, ever get rid of Van Bronckhorst. It wasn't at the time. It was just one of the things. And still at this day, I still didn't think we should get rid of Van. I still didn't think we should have got rid of the guy. I think, Ken, we've been to a European final when we were on, and I think there was people at the club, players at the club, who maybe should have left before he left, and we've seen how he went to there. But that's the fact. And a lot of people did want to bring Michael Beale in. I personally never ever wanted to bring him as a manager. But I think if that manager, like you said a minute ago, isn't willing to change his formation and things like that, I think that's where the problems are. Because, like Southside said the other night, if a new manager comes in and Danilo gets injured and you've got to play Dessers as a striker, but some managers down south in that Oxford say, well, Ken, something, I'm just going to play with a false nine and we've got to play with 5 in the midfield today and we'll go like that. People can change things, Ox, and maybe that's why he's came to Rangers and he's not went to one of the big Premiership clubs in that, Ox, and that's it. Just you can't be that pig-headed, Ox, as far as I'm concerned. When you're at a club like Rangers, you've got to be able to change week in, week out, and change in games and things like that. And I just didn't think he's doing that, Ox.
I don't disagree with you. I think the stubbornness with this system, Southside sees it slightly different from you. I think Danilo in possession was keeping the left in possession. He was up trying to get next to Dessers in the first half. And then with the two boys sitting, go deep, Barron and young Raskin, you end up playing a game of football when they football and they create activity without the wingers. And they get the ball to the wingers, you'll go to the Hollywood pass. Just what I'm watching and I see it, there's no midfield. And that's no fault in Raskin and Barron, because I'll tell you what, the energy in the ground they're covering, it's far too much. And that suggests to me, Albert, that the system doesn't work.
It's not working. You're not winning games. It's as simple as that. Any system works that you win games with. So it's not winning games, so it's not working. It's easy to say, mate. It's we keep saying it's as simple as that. It's as simple as this. As simple as that. It is. Football is a simple game. No, I mean it's not a difficult game. It's one of the ones. You score more goals than you score the opposition, and you win games. Simple, isn't it? I don't care what the system is. I don't care what the players are saying and what everybody's shouting and bawling about. If the bottom line is we don't score, there's no goals in the team, mate. The players I'm talking about don't score goals. Their shooting is terrible, and it's as basic as that, mate. It's just as basic as that. Nobody can tell me on Saturday there we didn't deserve to win that game. Nobody can say that. That's not the first half. We were slow. And that's the problem. Second half were better, but we created chances and then proceeded to miss them. So nobody can say we didn't deserve to win the game. Well, we deserved to win the Hearts game. And I heard that people saying we didn't deserve. Aye, we did. We put the ball in the net and we kept a clean sheet. We deserved to win it. Same as all the other one. Nothing's deserved to win it. We just don't score enough goals to make it comfortable. But so you can go on about systems all you want. If it doesn't win games, it's a wrong system. It's as simple as that. And you can't say it any further than that. And the manager will get sacked eventually if he doesn't get to start winning games. Forget about what's fair and what's no fair. That's the very first thing you said at the beginning of the show. Is it fair? Sometimes it is and sometimes it isn't. But there's one thing's for sure, you don't win enough games, you're out the door. You're gone.
Mm-hmm. George?
That's it. That's it. His system isn't right, and I don't understand how people can say he'll not change his system. Well, if he's not changing his system, that's wrong in my eyes. But look, I hope the guy proves me wrong. I hope he goes out there and Thursday night and gets a win, and then goes out on Saturday as well, and then we've got a midweek next week and gets a win and proves me completely wrong. I would want nothing more to come on here and say I was completely wrong about the guy, but I've just got my opinion, New York. I've bite my tongue in the last couple of weeks, and the shouters have been out there and they've been shouting. I've been like, no yet, nah, it's no yet, it's not the time. Let's give the guy a chance, Hawks. But I can't see it happening, New York, and it's worrying. It's at the worrying part now. People are blaming the board, people are blaming the players and things like that. I think the obvious thing for me is the manager right in front of everybody's eye. I just think that's what's got to get changed. But I hope he's proves me wrong, folks. I'm going to let you go anyway, and I'm going to go and sit in a dark room and bang my head in the drawers or something like that.
Ox. George, see before you go, see what I'm saying about overreaction, right? See if we'd got the points yesterday, it wouldn't have been as bad. If the second half performance on Saturday had got us that extra goal, the keeper had a world day for about 3 yards out. Don't know how he gets on here, but we had chances, we created, we missed a sitter, we didn't. The goalie made a couple of good saves. If we'd got the ball over the line and won the game, what I'm saying is it probably wouldn't have been the carnage that's coming today. Because it would have been the first half was rotten and we turned up in the second half. That's what it would have been. And there'll still be a cry for the manager to go for a lot of people. Listen, he probably, if we don't get a result at St Johnstone and Kilmarnock, I don't even think he'll survive that, George, to be honest. As much as I still think he's to the wrong end of the stick to start with. I think if some of the players had moved there and we'd had a few more players in the door, or some of his first choices had came, I think it would have been a bit better and we wouldn't have been as far behind. I still think we'll get second today. Whether he's there or no, I still think we'll get second. Then we've got to see where we are for there. Listen, we are where we are, and it's frustrating. And you see the thing that kills me, George, as you said earlier, see when you hear fans saying, I'm not going to go. Why no? You support your team. It's your team we support. And you don't want to go at Ibrox, you know. It's harsh, and everybody's entitled to their own opinion. But, and you'll be back to your loyal, hardcore supporters, George, like we had in the 80s. Before Souness came, mate, no.
We'll always keep going and things like that. And the thing is, let's be honest, Southside, if the manager stays or if the manager changes and we get to the cup final, it'll still be the same clamour for tickets for Hampden for the cup final. It's the same as everything else. That's the bottom line, Southside.
That'll be your glory hunters, George. That'll be the glory hunters back then. You'll
not get a ticket. Exactly. But Southside, one last thing before I go. After that save on Saturday, I turned around and says, by the way, I can guarantee that goalkeeper will free on Saturday. What a save it was. Point blank, great save. And I said, I bet he has a howler next week and throws a couple in the back of the net. It always happens against Rangers. But let's hope we get a couple of wins coming up. And by the way, I really do hope we get a few wins and this manager can pull us through. Like you say, I just hope his pigheadedness doesn't destroy us like he, because it's looking that way for me.
Great to hear from you, George, and don't be a stranger, mate. We enjoy having you on.
All the best, boys. Keep it up. See you later.
Good to hear from you, George.
See you later, boys.
See you later, pal.
Let's hear from these.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972? It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
By the way, what I do accept is my squad is threadbare. Yeah, it's threadbare. And there's been no plan, no cohesion, no better. And that's not just the manager's fault, to be fair.
See, mate, it's like the perfect storm, man. Everything's going wrong at the same time. It's one of these situations, and we've got a squad. It's not fit for purpose. It's a fact, mate. It's a fact of life. So I'm not going to keep going on about Clement. I don't think he should go. A lot of people think he should go. I think that argument's going to roll on forever, mate, because what's going to happen is going to happen. And forget about it. And the new CEO and things like that will sort all that out. That's going to be done. But at the end of the day, you look at our squad as it sits at the moment, and you're right. Threadbare is not the word. Threadbare is not the word, mate. It's devastated, the squad. It really is. And this is where you see you start looking closer at all the different departments and all the different things within the club itself, like the youth system, or the academy and things like that. This is where it all comes to light now. When you really, really need them, they're not there. You're looking at your scouts and you're looking at your coaches. You're looking at everything. It all comes to the surface, mate. All the people that have been hiding in the corners and hiding away and making a living out of the Rangers and not actually producing nothing. It all comes out now. You need them now. This is the time. You need them now, and you've been needing them for the last 4, 5, 6 years. They're not there. They're simply not there. Why not? When 2012 came about, a lot of good people get kicked out of Ibrox. A lot of good Rangers people get kicked out of Ibrox. We've never replaced them or brought them back. The decent Rangers people who knew the club To talk about trying to manufacture people into being a Rangers person, it's no, the players that are no Rangers supporters are never going to be Rangers supporters. They might hold them to their heart, but they're never going to be Rangers supporters. You're either a Rangers supporter or you're not. Like McCausland, they're all Rangers supporters. You can't say they're no, they are Rangers supporters. So it's just one of the things, mate, wherever we are. How do we get out of this? We're both going to find the finance or something needs to give to bring players in. It's as simple.
Do you know what worries me? And I'm going to accept you two fine upstanding gentlemen, because I know you might not let me join your walking club if I don't agree with you. Yeah.
Aye, that's true.
Right. But I want to ask you, and Southside can answer me this. Right. Now, I've been a big advocate of Stirling on here, yeah?
Yep.
Yeah, is that fair? I thought we looked a better team last season when we played in midfield. I thought he'd done okay in the first half, and after about another 70 minutes, he'd gone. How he managed to do 90 minutes and no stay on the park when you could have brought Tav on, you could have brought McCausland on, changed your system or whatever, put an attacking player on, move somebody up, because let's be honest, we weren't defending at all in the second half. So you're going to put somebody up, and there was still half an hour to go, you could have made that change. Because he'd ran his race. And all the coaches, along with the manager, are watching that. And that's what's worrying me. I don't even know, if I accept all the things that you're saying about the circumstances, I don't know if they've got the tools for the job. Because I'm watching them saying, I can see that. And I'm thinking to myself, I know Southside will be watching that where he sits, and he'll be seeing it. And how can they not see it? And that worries me. Southside.
Well, he shoved Shooter up at one point. Proper was up. See, before Hadji had the shot, Proper actually was trying to get the ball off the guy, which he did, right at the corner flag. At the corner flag. And then when the ball gets put back to Hadji, who's sliding in to try and get the ball in the net beside Ignaman? Proper. That's who's trying to slide in at the same time as Ignaman. Listen, I know we're no good, right? I know we need to get fresh players. The easiest thing to do is say sack your manager. That's the easiest thing to say. And he will get sacked if we don't get results against St Johnstone and Kilmarnock coming up. I think it'll be too strong and he'll probably have to go. But we'll see what happens when he brings somebody in, because if you've no money to work with and players are still sitting there. So what do you want to be? Better organised, right? So we'll be better organised. Doesn't mean to say you're going to win a game. That Bam Potter at Scotland can organise a team, but how many wins has he got? So it's all right saying organise a team. It's about getting results. And at the moment, we need more players. That's the start fact. We need more players.
What is a manager's job during the 90 minutes of a football match?
Well, first and foremost, he sets your team out and you have to go out and get a win. Right, we know that. Right, but if you've not got a striker that can put the ball in the net up front and doesn't even look like scoring, how about you make today? You go, right, you can say play with a false nine. We're all frustrated, right? We're sick of it. But the easiest thing to say is pull the plug and just do this and do that. That's for everybody sitting out there. Half the guys out there are typing on their typewriters, don't even go to the games, don't even put a penny in. We've all got an opinion and entitled to it. They're a Rangers supporter. But it's worse when you travel and you go and you come back and it's bad enough with defeat. No, follow your team. I mean,
you're getting off in a tangent.
I need one on me because I'm pissed right off with it.
Right, so I'll go to Albert and then come back to you. Albert, I don't know if you picked on that. I know where you sit, yeah, and they buy armchairs, right? Right. So Stirling had run his race, in my opinion. In my opinion, I might be wrong. People might see it differently. And how we never made a change in that position was baffling. And that's some of the criticism I've got, not just for the manager, for the whole coaching staff, mate. And I don't know if the raw tools are there.
The tools are not there, but I don't think for the reasons that particular reason. But the raw tools are not there, mate. That's a fact, right? Now, if he had a full squad, say the squad of 28, 29 players, and there was a good squad, the players that he's putting on, once they cross that white line, as you're aware, it's down to the players. There's not much a manager can do. If a player doesn't want to run, he'll not run. All a manager can do is substitute him, take him off, right? But at the present time, he's not got much to pick and put on. He done it in the second half, and he brought Danilo on, and he brought who else? I know he brought Igaman, but he never brought. Who did bring on with Danilo? Hadji, right? Now, I'll guarantee you, anything you want. The reason he didn't go like that in the first half or play them, start them off, is he's got another hurdle to try and overcome. His so-called fitness team, the wonders with the computers, with the red zone brigade. No, I mean that mob. You still get them. They'll be whispering in his ear. You can't put him on too early. He's only got 30 minutes. He's only got 40 minutes. He's got 20 minutes. I'm surprised they kept Sterling on, because I bet there was what gibbering is here, because he's not played much football. You need to be careful. You need to take him off. Sterling's on, by the way, because he is your right back. Forget about Tab. Tab's not the right back anymore. It is Sterling. Right. And I thought he was all right. I think he was brilliant. He was all right. I think he ain't wrong. He never done particularly much going forward. But he was okay. But that is the future, mate. He is our future, right back. So just keep him on. There's no point of bringing Tab on, because it wasn't a fullback. I mean, he swaps Jeffy for Ridvan. I don't understand that one myself.
I think
I don't know if Jeff.
They're intimated that Jeffy did not, mate.
That's fine. That's understandable then. If that's the case, that's fine. No a problem with that. But if you're doing it to influence a game, I don't understand that. But if it's just if it is a genuine knock, well, fair enough. But then he's got the squad to. That's the squad to look at, mate. There's no much there he can do. He's sitting there going like that. And if Southside mentioned it earlier on, if the players don't want to run, they're not going to run. If they're not going to do their jobs, they're not going to do their jobs. But if you're in the second half, particularly, you had the chances, mate. The chances are there to be put away. We just don't put them away.
Aye. So is that the priority then? Before I bring back Southside, it's a striker. But we've already got 3 in the books, haven't we? Danilo, Dessers, and Ignaman.
Aye, Ignaman's not ready yet, is he really? Come on, let's be honest, right?
Even to get transferred for the B team at the moment, straight to the first team. It's only because we've brought him in, mate. He doesn't look any further down the road than any of the boys we've seen. Look, he's got ability. We've seen that in his cameo up at Paradise against the same opposition. We've seen that he's got ability. Yeah, but what we've noticed, he scored a goal in Europe, wasn't it? In Europe, he scored a goal,
Aye.
Aye. And but we've not seen very little of him since, even when we started him. He looks really raw, and I'm being polite there. And how he gets game time, because that's a whole different debate for a whole different night, and I've not got Albert started on that one. But Southside, do you see what I'm saying about the raw tools? That's what's worrying me. And the other thing I know is, when we needed a goal before we get the equaliser, we still play with one guy in the box. And even if the ball is getting spilled or it's gone in there, there's nobody in the box.
Do you think that if we'd tried to just lump balls in the box, that would probably have just suited them more?
Aye.
Because we don't really have anybody that's really decent in the air, have we?
If we get to the byline and we cut it back, sometimes we've only got 2 players in the box, mate.
Aye. Listen, I thought when we got to go on Saturday, I thought we'd have went on and got it. Because let's be honest, without making millions of chances, we had a lot, and we had a few on target. Our goalie had a few saves. I did think it was probably we would maybe get the goal, you know, and we didn't. And this is it. We don't have that luxury where we're sitting in a decent position in the league, and you can turn around and say, do you know what? It was one of them games today. You know, we were garbage in the first half. In the second half, we weren't great, and their goalie made a few saves. We've trapped 2 points today. We move on. We might have been either sitting top of a league or chasing with a couple of points in it, and you're probably. But it's because in the last number of weeks, we've been winning games by 1 goal in it. No, in the league. So if you're looking at the law averages, we score 1 goal roughly in a game. Or sometimes we get the 2, but on the whole we've been winning games 1-0. And if the other team score and we only score 1 on average, then you're going to be in trouble, aren't you? But I didn't think we deserved to lose the game on Saturday. I thought we'd done enough in the second.
No, the second half.
If it were a boxing match, you'd have stopped that. But it isn't. It's a game of football, and the object is to put the ball in the back of the net. And that's the frustration of coming out there on Saturday.
Well, see, this boxing match, I'm going to stop it for a few minutes. You know why?
Time for a tune.
Get yourself a mute, boys.
I don't know if you can can see what the Rangers really mean to me. In these last few years I've been afraid that we might drift away, so I've been telling old stories and singing songs that made me think about where we came from. And that's the reason why I feel so very proud today. So let me tell you that I love you, and I think about you all the time. Ibrox Stadium is calling me, and now I'm coming home. To think of life without the Rangers, you know that it would make me more sad. Glasgow Rangers, you're everything I've ever had. We won 9 in a row, and I'm still dreaming of Brian Laudrup and Trevor Stephen. Big Marvin Andrews said keep believing. Davy Cooper on the wing, and we remember Gaza with great affection. The day the helicopter changed direction, and Jimmy Baxter was pure perfection. Super Valley scores again. So let me tell you that I love you, and I think about you all the time. Ibrox Stadium is calling me, and now I'm coming home. To think of life without the Rangers, you know that it would make me more than sad. Glasgow Rangers, you're everything I've ever had. So let me tell you that I love you, and I think about you all the time. Ibrox Stadium is calling me, and I'm coming home. To think of life without the Rangers, you know that it would make me more sad. Glasgow Rangers, you're everything I've ever had. Without the Rangers, you know that it would make me more sad. Glasgow Rangers is everything I've ever had.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972? It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Absolutely nothing to do with me, the choice of song, Southside.
I just did a chuckle when I heard that one.
Oh, what's a toe tapper? Just for the record, but I've been sent some that you're doing a bit of dancing. It's not the first time I've seen you with a dancing girl, but I've been get on here. I've not heard you for a while.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Aye. Oh, Bear. You enjoying it?
No. I don't like it. I just think it's depressing. I just don't like it. Too Scottish for me. Any British songs?
Oh dear. You're going to laugh, Southside, aren't you?
Aye, it's a different version, that one, mind you, but aye, it's a wee toe tapper. Mrs. Albert must like it.
Oh, I don't know. I don't ask her. You know what I mean? I just leave her to her own devices. She'll sit with Kylie or something on. Just get back to your point, by the way. See the substitutes I made in Saturday? I would have took, if he's taking Burjami off, which he did, he used to put McCausland on, took Jeffy off and put Igaman on up front, and went 3 at the back with Stirling, Proper and Suter. and just say to Stirling, man mark. They want to get one up, just you man mark them, and they two sit and they sweep in behind them. That's what I would have done. I went for it, mate. Just that's what. But I didn't understand putting the Egerman out in the wing. I didn't even understand that one at all.
Funny, on the pre-match show, mate, I'd intimated that he could go out there because anytime you've seen him, he's went naturally to that left side of the forward line. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because he doesn't stay at centre forward because he doesn't look like a centre forward. South side, does he?
No, one time I seen him, he was standing in the Govan front, standing away over there, and we're putting the ball in the box, and the ball comes in, and we've got one player in the box, it's Cherny on the penalty spot. No, that wee man, that's not where you're meant to be away over there, you know. He's young, right? He's a project, and do you know what? He might come good in time. Like yourself back in the day. Listen, he might come good in time. Sometimes when you're making a lot of signings, we're looking to try and add value into your squad in time and be able to flip a couple of players. You need to be successful and you need to be doing the business on the part for that to happen. I think in time he might. Listen, a new manager might come in and just go, here, he's not good enough, ball, beat it, let's get rid of him. That's what might happen, you know what I mean? The managers, if Clement gets changed, or will get changed in time, no matter when it'll be, some of these players might have to leave because the new manager might just no fancy him in whatever style that he wants to set up or however he's going to play. But we paid money for him. We seem to think he's going to become a decent player. Same with Nsiala, that's playing for the B team. Big strapping guy. But at the moment, they think he's not ready to come in and play. But that might change going forward. Maybe for the start of next season, he might be a player that might come in and be a centre-back at Glasgow Rangers. We don't know how he'll develop.
Was that at Birmingham, mate? Was that on the table?
He played at Birmingham. We'll see him in the next B game. He's a big boy. He's physical and that, and I'd like to think at his age, being at AC Milan, if it's true they tried to offer him another deal and he chose not to. But I'd like to think that he'd be thinking that he's good enough to get into our team going forward. I'd like to think that will be the vision for him.
But that's a criticism, but that's the thing. Listen, Dessler's performance was due to come off at half-time. In fact, it was due to come off before half-time. But there's an argument when you need 2 goals, mate. You bring Danilo on and you go with the 2 up top.
Oh, exactly, mate. I don't understand his tactics. I'm not trying to say Clement should stay because his tactics are brilliant and his everything's good and he's getting there. I'm not saying any of that at all. All I'm saying is he's not getting a fair deal. And he's not had a fair deal since he came into the club. He done minor medicals last season and goes to a whisper for winning the league, which we should have won, and a whisper for winning the Scottish Cup, which we should have done as well. But apart from that, I don't think he done a good job there, but I don't think he's getting a fair deal this season. I really don't. But anyway, that argument's been said and done and finished. The results will dictate everything. It's not going to be what the supporters say. And I'll tell you one thing: what the board should have learned is don't listen to the supporters when it comes to picking managers, because we all wanted Van Bronckhorst was in, and we all wanted Beale in, and we got rid of Retu as well. So I think the Rangers support now are starting to get into this habit of this round about this time of year is the only time we get any excitement is sacking managers and bringing new managers in. That's the exciting bit of the season.
Is that the press who drive the narrative, mate? Is that the point?
Aye, probably, mate. Probably, but it's not the way forward. It just is not the way forward.
No, but the frustrations. It's a mental industry, yeah, and how you deal with it is usually if you don't get the results outside, or even you might get the results and you'll not get the performances at our club. People are frustrated at times.
Aye, listen, social media's got a lot out there now. It's there. It's a good thing that you can use and all that. But things get, you only need to look at the nonsense I get sent yesterday. The manager's getting sacked. There's a board meeting at 6 o'clock and all that. And it's just starting to get out there. And I'm saying to people, no, it's a lot of nonsense. Don't hang me. No, but that's the way the world is at the moment, you know. And listen, we've been rudderless for the tap for a good number of months now. Things are starting to change now. And I think as much as Coppins had a bit of flack as well, I think a lot of his signings have been no bad. And I think I'm hoping that when Cortez comes back, he'll prove to be a success in time. And hopefully, I thought, Blansby can get... Listen, January's never a good time to buy players. We know that. So it's not exactly a window that you can think, oh, I'll get a lot of decent players here and all that. But it is what it is. We need more reinforcements. For no matter who comes into the club as a manager, mate, if when Clement goes, we still need better players. That is a fact. This squad aren't good enough to compete and go a full season for a league title at the moment. What we've got right at this moment in time, it's shown it, hasn't it? No?
The job of the manager, the job in January doesn't change. Doesn't matter who's at the helm, mate.
No, but you'd like to think if we've got a couple of players that Coppins earmarked that we might be able to get in January, then there's a chance that we might be able to bring them in. But we've still got to get rid of some of the players there that aren't contributing and all, because they're their own chunky money. And that would help any manager in that position at Rangers to get better players in the door if possible. That's just a fact.
I think we've done it, and it was about £200,000 a week. Oh, but a minute, guys, it's not contributing.
Aye, it's big money, mate. It's
talking about big money. We've been joined by old David. Evening, David.
Evening, boys. How are we doing? Keep the faith. Keep the faith.
When I said about big money, that's your bar tab, David.
Very good, Ox. No, I was just listening earlier. I've been away. I was doing it at Ipswich, seeing my grandkids, and paying my respects to my last hours. But the boys were, and they want to carry on trying to get home in the train. Anyway, that's another story. I felt that from what I was listening to, suicide and all bear spot on. And a passionate suicide comes away with everybody should have that, and we don't. And I'm not saying it's a concern, because everybody's got their rights to be sort of more pessimistic now than anything else, because it is.
You saying we should be more like Southside? Is that what you're telling us, David?
I think Southside should get in and do a pep talk before the game, because when he was talking there, I just went, every word I says, that's what's missing.
Listen, if you get him 20 Managerial points, you'll do it for nothing. Brilliant. No, but it's true. And we're all getting sick of listening to this, what we're not, and this bit about the manager. Come on, let's get into a reality check here. And people will know. It's just, I don't know who was talking about it, but they says, well, I think it maybe was suicide. If we had got we'd have got the 3 points at the game. The whole conversation for the end to now would have been totally different, and we all know that. But what it is what it is until we get it. And what we're talking about there is, is only my point of view. The players are not up to being what they should be. I think that's your biggest problem. I think he's went over that issue. But what do we do? Getting rid of the manager at this moment, not for me, guys. Listen. Anyway, we've also been joined by our Smurf. Evening, Smurf.
Evening, everybody. I hope you can all hear me well tonight. Is that better?
We can, mate. You're loud and clear.
Aye.
Too loud.
I stood right next to me.
Too loud.
I'd be rolling a blow to E in the morning if we couldn't. Right. Anyway, so, no, do you know what? I'm optimistic. I've had enough of all this doom and gloom. We've got a new CEO. We've got a new chairman, right? Clement's been holding it together with sticky back plastic and glitter for long enough. The guy needs to be cut some slack. He needs to be given a budget. He needs to be allowed to go and sign his own players and get all that dross. We're still suffering for the hangover of Beale, and it all needs to be put to bed. We've got top people in the door. Nobody can complain about them. They've all got pedigrees and numbers in numerous areas of business and politics, etc., etc. I don't want to talk about that, but you know what I mean. So the board have got to fund it. They've got to dig into their pockets. There's a couple of billionaires on there. Get your hand in your tail. start funding the manager going forward. And I think if we have a good January window, look, we're 11 points behind the Manx. If he can start putting a dent in that, that'll be good enough for me. The season's got right off, but as far as I'm concerned, this man could have walked away, and I don't think he gets enough appreciation for it. Anyway, that's me. I had my rant.
Well said, son. Well said.
I'll bring Albert in.
I totally agree with him. Totally agree. Nothing to disagree with there. I think the man should get cut some slack, and I think he should be appreciated for what he has done, what he's done, and what he's had to put up with. It is just simple fact of life. He's got a raw deal out of this. He really has got a raw deal out of this. You might not like the guy for whatever reason, his interviews, his tactics, or whatever. But you got to give him a chance. You got to give him a fight and chance. If he doesn't do it, then you've got every right to complain. But at the moment, we're complaining, and I think it's a bit unfair on the guy. I really do. I know a lot of people won't agree with that, but it's just my opinion on it.
How do you swing me then about the tactical bit during the game when it's not going right, Albert?
But you think one of the things I think you need to take into consideration is the players he's got to change the system. Ox. I think you're right with the system needs to get changed certain times. It might need to get changed altogether, and then be flexible every game. I think you're right with that, but it's just not the players to do that. System
obviously works in an open game of football, because we've seen it even against Leon when we get murdered. We could have been 2-0 up before the game started, shouldn't we?
Aye, exactly. Taking chances again, back to taking chances.
Welcome to the O2 messaging service. The person you are.
Yeah, aye, okay, all right. Southside, didn't you come, mate?
Aye, he's probably thought that what we were doing in the second half on Saturday, the way we had them under pressure, we'd probably have got a goal for it. I mean, you can lump balls in all day long if you want, but if you've not got anybody good in the air up front, then it's not going to work. So most managers will tell you, keep going doing what you do on the training field, keep doing what you normally do, going forward, and you might get the goal for it if you keep doing the right things, and eventually you might get it. That's what most managers say. We stick to our principles, we stick to our football. Don't just lump it up the park all the time. But I get, we put Suter up there. Didn't really do us any good, did it? You know? Listen, it is what it is. And we're where we are because of the state of the squad. And there's players there that he didn't get out the door. I do feel sorry for him in that way, because I think since he's come in, he's not had the full tools, and he's still working with players. And if a manager comes in tomorrow, he'll be working with Clement's players, he'll be working with Beale's players, he'll be working with Gio's players, and he'll be working with probably one for Steven Gerrard, with Tav still there, who was Warburton's player.
Who's left with Beale? Bob, the goalkeeper, Butland,
and Sterling. Right, so, I mean, at the end of the day, we are where we are. Aye, it's a sore one on Saturday. I get that. I'm sick of it myself. But I understand it. And I understand it for the simple reason being that the players aren't good enough. When they need help, we need more reinforcements. And that's just a fact. There's no other way around it.
Here's something I never thought I'd say on here, David. Is Southside too nice?
I'm getting slaughtered everywhere else. I see I'm getting slaughtered, but I don't care. I really don't care. See, for people out there that want to sit and slag, we're all entitled to their own opinion, right? I spend my money week in, week out going to follow Glasgow Rangers, right? So I feel it when we get beat, same as everywhere else when you've travelled and spent your money, sacrificed what you're going to do during your week to go. The easiest thing to do is to sit there and put nothing in and just moan. Simple. It's everything. And then you get people coming on saying, I'm not going back to Ibrox, I don't want to go. Well, don't go back then. Just go when we're winning. Because that's what you'll be. You're classed as a glory hunter. That's a fact. When glory hunters come back when Souness came. Used to go to Ibrox and watch us when Souness and Jock Steen and Wallace, and John Gregg. I know, I don't even know. I was thinking of something else here I was going to say. But no, do you know what I mean? So it is what it is, and we are where we are. And if you don't want to go, then don't go. Just don't go. But you want to go when we get to a final or a semi-final, you want to go back. No. Just annoys me, man. And you do hurt the club. You've paid your season ticket money up, and then you get, we'll no buy strips, we'll no do this, and we'll no do that. So what do you want to do? Hurt the club even more? Is that what you want to do? No, think about what you're actually saying here. This is the club that you come on here and listen to people. I love my club and I love this, I love that. Aye, so do I, and so does everybody else on this panel. And so does the vast majority out there by the sounds here. But don't say you're not going to do this, you're not going to buy merchandise or this or that. Just to hurt the club even more.
That's a point of view. I told you he was a nice guy, Albert. You see different.
Oh, he's like a dog chewing a wasp today, mate, I'll tell you.
Lack of sleep, I'm blaming.
I'm doing that at all, mate.
You know, but
he's right. He's right,
the
mate.
frustrations. I hear the frustrations, mate, and listen, it's difficult to argue, but there's two sides to this coin, mate.
Aye,
and my problem is, since maybe the command-up game, mate, if I'm being honest, this only pans out the one way.
That's inevitable.
Welcome to the O2 messaging.
All managers get sacked, mate, eventually. All managers. It's the nature of the job, mate. Even the ones that get headhunted, some of the greats of the game get headhunted all over. Look at Marino. He gets sacked. Everybody gets sacked. That's what it is. That's the name of the game.
It's hard to feel sorry for some of the managers when they get sacked with the deals they get when they leave, but
Why? That's the ones that that one. What do you call it? It was the England manager, that Italian boy. he negotiated some deal with him. You know, before he went to that World Cup, he signed that deal. You know what I mean? And then he had a disastrous World Cup, and it was that we're paying him off. I we're in. You'll pay me for the next 10 years or something.
Hello.
Aye. The goalkeeper, wasn't he?
Aye. So how do we get the only way to get the support back on side is to win football matches, Davey, yeah?
Oh, well, we all know that. But, I mean, everybody's been, and Smurfs mentioned it, it's spot on, and suicide and all that. But the thing is, it's okay, but just to bring up this wee point that we've been talking about glory hunters, that's been like that for a long, long time in Rangers. And whether it's as suicide says, no matter, to turn around, I mean, I'm 76 now, and I followed Rangers since a way back to Sammy Baird played and all that stuff. But if you're a real Rangers, you can be down, you can be opinionated, but it's what annoys me is when I hear this garbage, I'm not going back. I can understand that. Everybody can feel that way, but that's no supporting Rangers. You support them through thick and thin and garbage. I was at a game at Ibrox against Partick Thistle, 6,500 there. And it was garbage, but I still went the next week. That's the reality of life.
You ever maybe thought you're a Jonah, David?
Oh, fabulous. Oh, right, thanks for taking my call.
Oh, dear.
No, but as somebody, we should take a reality check. I know we've talked about it 10 minutes, 15, 20 minutes ago. Sack your manager. Forget about it. We've not got money to sack anybody.
Wait a minute.
So,
I'll play devil's advocate here. As
okay.
I said on Saturday, mate, my problem is, and I don't know the finances exactly, but if you start looking, if the interest wanes, and if people are saying it's because of the manager, you might not be able to afford to sack him, but you might not be able to afford to keep him because you might hurt your more financially.
Yeah, you're dead on.
So that's the decision the people who run the club have got to make without emotion. Would you agree with that, Smurf?
I think you've got to, but you know, there's a long laundry list of stuff today, and who are you going to get in? What you want to achieve? What's your goals when you change your manager? You know, I think you've just got, if you're going to sack him, I think you've got to try and get to the end of the season. For me, you're right. It's when you start losing corporate and all that. But
well, that's the people who run the club.
Just think there's too much going on at the club, and the new guys that are coming in have got too much on their plate just to be running out and replace the manager. For, first item on the agenda, gavel, new manager, no thing. I no, for me, I think I'd want to. If you're going to do it, if you're not going to do it before the end of the season, you've got to do it now before you hand them money for January. And I would want to hold off. If I was on that board and I was asked my opinion, I'd say no.
Man. They've got to look at all the pictures of there. That's their job, innit? We criticise them all the light, but they've got a job to do. And there's his economics as well as take the emotion that's it, innit?
Welcome to the O2.
Well, you've got to sit back and calmly assess the situation. The new CEO coming in, for example, I mean, one of the first things he's going to do is get a hold of Clement, take him in, sit him down and just say, give me your honest opinion how you see this season is going. I know it's pretty obvious, but he's got to ask him and then say, right, what do you see the problems or why is it like this? And listen to what he's got to say and I take it for there. The measuring stick for the manager is pretty simple. It's results. But the measure stick for everybody else at Ibrox and the coaching staff and the Auchenhowie seem to be a bit blurred. And at times I don't think any of them get any measurements. So you sit there and say to yourself, well, how do you know if they're successful or no successful? You know the manager's been successful or no successful. It's results. We've already said that 1,000 times a night. It's the results that will decide whether he stays. But the CEO is going to decide. He'll not decide to sack the guy. That's just madness. He's just in the door and then he's going to say, my first decision is to sack the manager. He's never going to do that, mate. That's just balminess. That's pottiness at his best. He's going to sit down and listen to what Clement's got to say, and he's going to assess it for that and see if he agrees or disagrees. What he's saying, and if he's talking nonsense, then he might say, look, I've got to give you a time scale here. You've got to turn the results around this time scale, and if I don't see that, I've got to revisit your contract again.
Would you be sitting go to him first, or would you not want to say what the agreements were in the last 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, and what his KPIs and what he was judged on and what the conversations, and then sit down with him?
I don't think there is any KPIs or anything like that. I mean, I don't think there's any management put in place for him to follow. Clement, he's been just landed a whole lot right in his plate and just told to go on with it. And every day he walks in, he seems to get another bit added to it. That's what he's been trying to tell you. I'm dealing with things that I really shouldn't be dealing with. And people are asking him at his press conferences about CEOs' positions and director of footballs and chairmans. And what's that got to do with him? None of that's got anything to do with him. He's just a football man. And that's what he's wanted. That's what he signed up today. Be a football man.
I get that side of it. Listen, we've tried to bring Blue Star, if you're listening, mate. We've tried to phone you back 3 times, mate, to bring you into the call. Yeah. We've not had any answers for you. So if you're listening, phone back in and we'll phone you back, mate. That's how it works. I get it, mate. I get it. It's a real tightrope we're walking in a moment. It's Murph, innit? It's a tightrope.
Yeah, I mean, when you've got to look at Clement as well, he doesn't know about KPIs, does he? Come on. You get a CV in there.
He must have some. He must have some management.
No, he has
some agreement. If this time of the season, you look at the fixtures, we should have at least 5 to maybe 7 points. Men we've got this now. There's his KPIs.
Aye, of course it is, but the same token, you've got to look at that squad. And it's anybody he's brought in. Well, I'd say with the exception of Proper, because I've got a big question mark over him, and the wee boy Diamondi's not been covering himself in glory lately. But when they've been fit, they've all showed up well, I think. And where he's been let down is with what he's inherited. I really believe it. And so I think you need to take a sort of sympathetic and holistic view, and that's no what's going to happen. I get that, but
God, we'll get another nice guy on here, all better. He's not going to last.
But
I get it.
You're trying to be. I think what we're trying to do tonight is be realistic and look at the other side of the coin, and don't just jump in the bandwagon and get the pitchforks and run through the village looking for Quasimodo. No, I mean it's a case of be realistic and look what's happening. Look what's happening, and try and sympathise with the problems the guys he's got to face out with the football. I know he's.
Albert, that was a cheap shot moving Quasimodo when David was on. That was ridiculous.
I knew you were going to say that. I knew that. But just wait for him.
Southside said to me that face rings a bell.
That's the way she shouted to me there, hey, Quasi, do you want a cup of tea? No, but he's dead right. But what I'd like to just mention while we're on about it, Ox, is I think we've got too many players who can't carry the jersey. There's no been at a club at the level, and when they might look good for certain parts of the game, but they just can't. Maybe it's a crowd or what's it? I just don't think they can carry the weight of the jersey. I don't think until we get that, we'll not start getting together as a team. That's just my opinion.
I know, and it's difficult because we want younger players in because they're assets, but boys ready, or do we need men, if that makes sense. Anyway, we've been joined by Christine. Evening, Christine.
Good evening, upstairs.
How are we doing?
Good evening, everybody else that's in the studio. I can't believe what I'm listening to, guys. I'm very, very sorry, but in no way do I agree with anything you're saying. This man has to go. I mean, where is he taking us? How far down do we have to go before we say enough is enough? And to say that we're no Rangers supporters because we're not backing the manager, that's the most hurtful thing as a 72-year-old Rangers supporter that could ever be said to me. And I am so sick of listening to all this. We are hurting. The fans, the supporters are hurting. Watching this week in and week out. But we're also hurting listening to this man running our club into the ground at every single press conference that he has given this season. He is making a laughing stock of the great team of Glasgow Rangers. And you all know that as well as I do. And I'm sorry if you don't agree with what I'm saying. But I can't sit and listen to get behind the man in there. Because for years, my husband had MS. And I seen Mark the Ibrox in his wheelchair. And he loved nothing more than watching the great Glasgow Rangers team on that pitch. And my husband passed away 10.5 years ago. And I am so, so glad that he isn't here to watch what we're all watching now. And to sit and try and convince us to get behind this guy, I can't fathom it out. And I'm sorry, I just felt that the opinion of the ones that don't believe in where he's taking us has to be heard. Because enough is enough. These guys are running out onto that pitch and they don't have the fight, the heart, the desire to play for your club. But to try and make out that it's nothing to do with the manager, no, I'm sorry, that's wrong. He takes these guys at training. He picks the team. and he plays most of them in the wrong positions. And he is so stubborn, he will not change his opinion of how they should play. And he knows within his own heart and soul that that is ruining us. And that is absolutely heartbreaking to watch. And it's all right to say we're only 11 points behind them. And if we could catch them up, come on, guys, really? I mean, that's a question I'm asking you.
Does anybody on here?
Where is he taking us?
Right, I'll bring the boys in. Bear, you go first, mate.
Oh, I'm backing the manager. 100% I'll back the manager because I think he's at a raw deal. I don't think he's had a chance. No chance whatsoever. Yeah. The fact that the players are no running about, that's going on to do with the manager. That's the player themselves need to look at themselves. If you think, Christine, and you're seeing that the players are no, I'm not saying you're wrong. If you think the players are no running about and trying, that's right down to the players themselves. They need to look at themselves in the mirror and say why. Doesn't matter if you like the manager as a player. It doesn't matter if they like the manager or don't like the manager. They're paid to play football for Rangers, and they're paid to put 100% in. They're no there to pick and choose when they want to play or pick and choose who they want to run a boot for. And that's the problem if they're doing that. It's not acceptable. That's not the manager's fault. If he can't get them motivated, he'll need to move them on. It's just simple as that. The manager's got a job today. And at the particular moment, the Rangers manager's no particularly easy job today. It never is an easy job today, but he's not getting a fair crack at the whip. Give him the right tools, back him properly, then see what he can do. Then we all can sit back and judge him and say, right, he is a good manager. No, he's not a good manager. But at the moment, I just think there's a witch hunt on the guy. And we all think that sacking the manager and everything's going to be hunky-dory and great and we're going to get better and all that. I don't see it. I just don't see it. I don't see... In fact, I think you're going to be on it as equally... disingenuous to the next manager coming in because you're just going to hold him the whole set of problems banging his plate and say you sort it out. And if you can't get these players to get motivated, there's something wrong with the players, not the manager. That's my opinion, pal.
Southside.
Good to hear you phone in, Christine. Entitled to your opinion, pal, and you make some valid points in some of them, but I still think I agree a bit with Albert says, right. We'll put it this way, we're in our third cup final, right, in a year that he's been in the job. We won one, Butland spilled one that cost us one. We'll go to extra time, we could have seen it. We were a better team at that point in the game. With the players in the squad and the rubbish that most people said he's having to deal with. And we're in another cup final. So in a year he's got us in 3 cup finals. We went to Betis and won, but nobody gave us a chance and tapped a European group. And we went to Olympiacos for possible if we go to point 7 points this time in Europe with a team and a squad that's nowhere near good enough for we expect at Glasgow Rangers. Standards that you watched, I watched, and everything else we've all watched on here have dropped from what we used to be. That's just a fact, and it's down to the fact that it's down to money, and money's been squandered, and we're both players that haven't give us a return, and we are where we are financially at the moment, and it's not good enough. And people have to be held account, but some of them are no longer at our club now. The only shining light I see, we're getting a CEO and a chairman in that will steady the ship, and every other manager that we've had in our club before that have worked with a CEO and a chairman in place, whereas he hasn't since he's come in. He's made mistakes, I agree. Sometimes I don't agree with certain things, but one thing I do agree, he's hardly had any money to work with and build a team. And then see, I think Yefty looks promising, I think Barron looks promising. I'm hoping that Diamondi, European-wise, he's showed up, but in league games, he's no. Cortez comes back fit. I'd like to think he'll offer us something. Danilo come back. I'd like to offer something. I think Cherny, Bezrami have been good signings. I think Proper will settle in. And then I think we need to add to the squad. Christine, we really need to add to help him. That's the problem we've got. The squad at the moment isn't good enough, Christine, and it is a bad watch at times. But the facts that I've put in front of you, when other people thought we couldn't do it, he's got results in Europe. We're miles off in the league at the moment, I agree. And it was pitiful on Saturday to see us come out the ground and you're angry because it's no the Rangers we used to watch, but we are where we are at the moment, Christine. And this is the Rangers that we're watching. So I've said if people in here and people out there are saying they don't want to go back to Ibrox, fine, don't go back then. Just come back when we're winning. That's not the mentality I ever had. That's not the mentality I ever had in my life. I'll go to Ibrox week in, week out, whether we're getting beat or no. I've done it all through the 80s and I've done it all through the 90s, done it through the good times and the bad. So it's easy to say I don't want to go back and don't buy merchandise and don't take that. Well, hurt the club even more then. If that's the way you want to be about it. That's what I've listened to for the last early weekend. No, you either support your team or you don't. No, support your team, win, lose or draw. It's a Glasgow Rangers story. That's the song. You'll know it yourself, Christine.
Aye, I do know myself. And I'll tell you one thing, you're preaching to the wrong person. Because I've been through the good times and the bad times for Rangers. I started watching football when it was McKinnon, Wilson and Baxter team. So I've seen the good times and the bad times. But to say that if you're not going to get behind them now, well, stay away from Ibrox. No, that's not right.
Well, if you've got a season ticket and you don't want to go, then what's the point, Christine? You've got a season ticket, go to the game. That's what you bought it for, isn't it? That's what I'm getting at. I'm not getting it. People like can they make the game and they don't support.
You tell me why on Saturday, when they announced that there was 47,000 inside that ground. No, anybody in the right mind knew there wasn't 47,000 inside that ground.
No, but for tax reasons, you've got to announce what the crowd has sold. Aye, well, that's why they done it. No other reason. If they said there was only 35 in, and you sell 47,000, no.
Well,
just come in.
Wait a minute.
Oh, he's not stopped.
No.
All right.
Sorry, I didn't listen.
No, I was letting Christine speak. Sorry, I just come out to let Christine speak.
Just wait your turn, mate. Wait your turn. On you go, Christine.
See what they say that them with season tickets don't want to go back. They understand they don't want to go back because they're hurting watching the team that they love slowly but surely getting destroyed. And to say it's nothing to do with this manager, I'm sorry. But you have to sit and listen to him saying that because we're playing in Europe, they're only training for 1 hour a day. Now, you tell me any other Rangers team that's trained for an hour a day and is then able to go out and play for 90 minutes on a pitch. You're talking about Diamante. I've got a COPD and a puffer and I could run faster than Diamante did on Saturday.
He beat Dessers and all, but Walter Smith's team and then 9 in a row team didn't do a lot of training, Christine. I used to watch them regular training.
But they had fighting desire, Oxchair. They played for the jersey.
Aye, but they didn't do a lot of training, and most teams at this time of the season will not be doing a lot of training.
I'm sorry, no. I mean, come on.
Just one on the season ticket stuff is that, see if somebody buys a season ticket, whether they attend the game or no, they still sell that seat. So they're going to announce that. And the other thing is as well. Hang on a minute. The other thing is as well. See what you're saying there is like, Southside was saying, if you buy your season ticket, you go and watch them. You don't because you're no winning, stay away. And he's 100% right. See if you were in a fight, see because you were losing, would you just give up? Or would you fight harder?
I fight harder. But why is that team not fighting harder?
Answer your own question.
Aye, but why are they not doing it then?
Because they're not good enough.
There's no fighting desire in that team. When the minute they walk out that tunnel, they don't look as if they're up for a fight.
As a recruitment.
Jim Goodman made it clear before he brought his Dundee United team to Ibrox that they were coming for a fight to Ibrox. Now you tell me that the last Rangers team that wouldn't answer that challenge. None of them. Not any other Rangers team, whether good, bad or indifferent, wouldn't answer a challenge like that. They went out there and run them ragged. So why are these guys doing this then? Why are they not playing for him?
He's a bad player.
Hello. Hello.
Recruitment. Anyway, we've been joined by Lewis. Evening, Lewis.
The name's Wallace, by the way.
All right, okay, on you go, mate. Floor's yours.
I understand what's been going on. The passion from your caller previously, that young lady, and from Southside. I know there's two different aspects to it, but that's how we're all feeling. It was a combination of pride and a combination of heart, and it's so sad.
Aye, listen, man, I'm not saying we're in a good place. I think Allbear, I'll bring Allbear in. We'll get some bad players, and we'll get players that Davey says the jersey's too big. We'll get some projects that are maybe ready, and we'll get senior pros that are done and no contributing a lot. Allbear. It's a bad combination.
Oh, it's definitely a bad combination. It's not going to bring you success, that's for sure, until we get it tidied up. The manager will tidy it up. He's been tidying it up since he came in, and he'll carry on tidying it up. He's allowed to continue. But if he doesn't tidy it up, the next manager will need to tidy it up. But tidy it up, it needs to be done. It has to be done, and it's sore and painful to watch. And we're all hurting. We all don't like it. We don't like the results. We don't like our style of play. We don't like much, and rightly so, because you can't defend the way we're playing. I don't think anybody's trying to defend the way we're playing. But you've just got to suck this up and appreciate what the guy's trying to do. And I've said it before and I'll say it again. Clement will know the manager that brings you success. It's the next manager after him. He's going to get all the benefits of the work Clement's doing at the moment.
Yeah. That's a shame in itself, though, really, isn't it?
Say that again, Wallace?
That's a shame in itself. He's trying to bring in players to do his formation, and I quite understand his formation. I like it. There's certain teams around the world, because I'm a big football fan, and I see that he does that. They have that formation, and it plays well. But unfortunately, he hasn't got the players in yet. He does anger me, yes, on certain little things, but I can understand his formation.
Well, maybe you have to phone in earlier, Wallace, and explain it to me, because I don't think it works. I don't think it makes sense. You're up the midfield game after game after game, or when you play against teams that play 4-5-1, you end up with 6 defenders because your midfield's that deep. They're taking the balls off the centre halves. I don't understand it, mate.
Well, I understand your thing, but when I watch them, and I watch them back every time, and it hurts. Sometimes it comes into like a 4-3-3, then it cuts back, then he brings his 2 left backs up.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's players that go back for no reason whatsoever. It's sometimes it is quite. I can understand where you're coming from. It's frustrating. There's just certain players that he puts.
You have to stop the ball going left and right to our fullbacks, which all these teams have worked out. And all of a sudden, we've nowhere to go but go long. And it's going 8-yard passes to either Berjami or Tierney. And Proper's quite good at that, by the way. It's about 1 in 5 years good at.
Right? No, I don't like him.
If you don't do that, there's no midfield. And it's so, listen, that's only my view. Other people see it different, because I had a conversation off air with my good friend Southside, who sees it slightly different. Southside.
Aye, Walter, how you doing? Good to hear you on the show, pal.
I'm just big man.
We have played a 4-3-3. Sometimes, Diamondi and that played as the 8. Sometimes he pushed up beside Dessers on Saturday slightly. The thing is, listen, for most of that game, we had all our players in their half apart from Proper and Shooter. That's what it was like in the first half. Aye, and we're having to overload it because we have to create now. I don't think Sterling's going to be that creative when he goes forward in the positions. As much as Tav had his fault, he was a cleverer player further forward. He got assists. He could play link up well with Tierney, and I think if Sterling's going to play in that position, you'll have to learn
that though.
You'll have the two of them will need to learn to be running after the ball and forming a partnership together, like Tav and Tierney done. Same with Yefty. Yefty's starting to go forward and he's trying to get a partnership with Benjrami, who eventually...
Can I interrupt you? Why
There we
wasn't... Yeah, unless he was injured, why wasn't Yefty pushed up? Then Redvan brought on. I'd like to see them two play together, mate.
They intimated that Jeffy had a knock when he went off, mate.
Right.
Yeah, we don't know their details of that. We've not picked up.
Fair enough, sorry.
No, mate, listen. It's all about what we see. Smurf, when you come, mate. Sorry, Southside, I'll come back to you, bro.
Aye, sorry, I'll just say the thought there.
Fell asleep there, Smurf. Carry on, mate.
I did, aye. What would we talk about?
Well, I'll go back to Southside. On you go, Southside. I've not got another 50 minutes to run through, but I'm going to give you a clue, Smurf. We're talking about the Rangers. On you go, Southside.
Aye. I could see what you were...
Have you climbed in your tank there, Smurf?
I could see what you were saying, Wallace. You could have maybe moved on, but I think if Yefty had picked up a slight knock, I still think he was bringing Redvan on to get him games into his legs, because we need to get him up to speed. Which at times he might use that tactic and maybe move Benjrami.
I would like to see, definitely.
Or it might spell Yefty, because we've got a lot of games coming up thick and fast, and he might want to alternate at times. So Redvan needed some game time, mate.
Good.
Aye, maybe, but it might have been even as simple if he got a wee kick, Jeffy. Just to luck. If somebody else gets injured, listen, I don't think he was particularly great. Jeffy in the start of the second half, he was okay in the first. Offensively, there's a debate whether he was at fault for the goal. I've watched it back. The two centre halves. They went inside. Should Jeffy have tucked in that man? He was right in the middle of the goal. When I see when that ball was delivered, for me, one of the centre halves is going to come and win it, particularly the guy who was playing the left side of the defence. Everybody sees it different, Albert.
No, I don't agree with you, mate. I think Jeffy showed his inexperience, mate. He's to come across. What did happen to the boy is he got left with two players. That was the big problem. Once the ball was in the air, the problem was Barn ran too far into the area, and when the guy just stopped, he got the ball put back to his midfielder who picked a cross, or a fullback, whoever it was, but picked a beautiful cross out, mate. Our players can't seem to pick that cross out there. Player sitting empty or standing out himself in the area. But Jeffy, inexperience. You go to the guy in the box, you don't go. He's pointing to the guy that he was marking, saying, "I'm got
at the back post." Aye,
at the back post. But you pick the danger man. You pick the most dangerous man. The two of them are danger men, but you pick the most dangerous, and the most dangerous man's the guy standing in the middle of the area. You know what I mean? So it's inexperience, mate. But apart from that, Proper did the right thing. He's gone with the guy, and Suter's doing the right thing. He went with the guy. If Proper doesn't go with the guy he went with and pulls back half, and the ball falls to the guy he did go with, we're going to slaughter him again for that and say, "What are you doing? You see the guys in the area." It's just Jeff. They'll learn from it, but I mean, good coaches will point that out to him.
Sorry for interrupting. I don't buy that, old fella. No way.
Well, we'll see what it takes us. Listen, look, it was a bad goal for to lose. And the other thing, party is the shape when the ball goes out to when the guy puts it in. We've need to near him because of the shape of our team. Anyway, we've got near that time in the evening. I just want to go in and give everyone last word for your good self, Wallace.
Thanks for having me, by the way, and I do apologise for the year 55. It was the last time I called. Was a little bit intoxicated, but always listen to you forever and ever.
Cheers, mate.
Albert, I do. You remind me of my mum. She tells me off a lot about how I see the Rangers games.
Hey, wait a minute.
I don't know. Come on. You might do. And Southside, yeah, I've got biggest respect to you, mate. You remind me of myself a long time ago. I love you, and come on, the Rangers, always.
Well, he's got a lot of respect and love for Southside, and then Albert makes me more. I never thought I'd hear that on this show. Trust me. I never thought I'd hear that. Oh dear. Last word for your good self, Christine, on you come.
Well, I'm actually sitting here with a vision of old bear in a frock, but
it's the same slippers I've got on, Christine. It's the same slippers as he's got.
Just once a year, Christine, he does it at Halloween.
I am not believing that. What he does in his own house is up to him. Anyway, thank you very much for taking my call. And I will say, win, lose or draw Southside, I will always follow the Glasgow Rangers through the good and the bad.
Glad to hear it, Christine. Correct.
Keep Christine.
Cheers, Christine. Oh, David.
Aye, smashing. Sorry I couldn't hear a lot of the show. All the bells I've got up here, they're all ringing in my head.
Well, I was tinnitus, you hon.
That's not back because you know what I mean? Nah, great. I just like to throw a wee Tuckleworth in before we go. I know we're coming to the end of the show. I think realistically where we are at the moment, we're a jigsaw puzzle. And there's four of these jigsaw pieces missing. Until we find them, you'll not complete the jigsaw. That's what I'm going to say now. Anyway, thanks for taking the call, guys. Great show. Top of the pops. You're the best show in town. And stay safe and God bless you, Jers. Good night, guys.
Speak to you soon, mate.
See you later, Davey.
Catch you later, Davey.
Smurf.
Aye, thanks for having me, guys. Been a good laugh. And I think that was a great analogy with old Davey. I think I agree with that totally. So, aye, onwards and upwards.
I thought you were going to talk about old bear in the frock here, but there you go. But old bear, in you come.
I'm turning up the next night out in a frock. Show you all use a day look like his mom. Anyway, good show, mate. Good show. Good laugh. Good points. Everybody's got their own point. Some agreed, some didn't agree, but
no,
it's always good to get them out there and let's hear what you've got to say, because you always learn something, don't you? No matter what your point of view is, you always learn something. I've heard a few things right, I'll tell you. If you're open-minded about it, you learn things. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's it. We've all got our point. We've all got bits to put in, and nobody's wrong. Everybody's got their opinion, and that's the good thing about this show.
That's the thing about opinions. You can't be wrong, can you? It's no fact.
No, can you? No.
You know.
Exactly, mate.
Aye. If he turns up in a frock tomorrow before we go anywhere, I'm off. I'll tell you that. I am doing a John Travolta. I know.
Trust me, if he turns up in a frock tomorrow, you'll be rubbing your hands together.
I am in danger, mate.
No, enjoyed the night, mate. Obviously, you get a bit of frustration for the weekend and that, because it's the team we love and support, the famous Glasgow Rangers. But everybody's valid their opinions. It was good we got a few extra callers in the night and spoke about their feelings and the club and everything else. So it's always good to get more callers on, mate, because that's what we're here for, as a platform. To come on sometimes and vent. Sometimes that happens and it's good to get it out. So, no, enjoyed the show, mate. Enjoyed everybody that was on the show. Good to date with all bear and your good self. So, thanks for having us on.
Thanks to Smurf for joining us. Thanks to George Logan, Christine, Wallace. Who else have I got?
Davey.
Oh, Davey. I think I've caught everybody then. And we couldn't get Blue Star. We tried to bring him in 3 times. So, thanks for Blue Star for trying to get in, mate. Always good to hear from everybody with different opinions, different points of view, and we'll see how this plays out. But remember this, thanks to Fox and Old School Blue for doing the technical. Rangers Radio will be back tomorrow night between 8 and 10, talking about all things Rangers. And remember, we're still the people. Take it away, Old School Blue.